recapping the year because it's time we put this one behind us. Crew, let's ranch it up. Good day, everyone, and thanks for riding with us as we ranch it up. I'm Jeff Tigger Erhardt. A great big thank you goes out to our partners for all that you have done for us here on the Ranch It Up radio show. Green Acres, Vitelli, Pharmatan, and Imogene Ingredients, the American Gelbvieh Association, the Tri-State Livestock News, the Farmer and Rancher Exchange, and the Fence Post, Abrahamson Rodeo Company, Westway Feed Products, Neogen, Allied Genetic Resources, Livestock Market, Equine Market, and AuctionTime.com, RFD TV, the Cowboy Channel, and Wrangler. Rebecca Wanner, a.k.a. Beck, finishing out the year with us.
I am.
So glad to be with you. Recapping 2022, I'm so glad to be putting this thing behind us. I wrote down I'm going to say here's what are my most memorable moments of 2022 are.
Oh, okay.
And so I guarantee you these are going to be yours. Going to be the exact same ones, okay? Starting out in the spring when you had your last round of chemo.
Oh, yes.
For your treatments in cancer, which we are cancer-free, by the way, if you're just tuning into the Ranch It Up radio show for the first time. We celebrated by going to a bull sale.
We did.
How fun was that? We didn't even get anything bought. We were
told which bulls to bid on,
we
but
had your brother's checkbook, and we didn't even get anything.
That was kind of
bought.
fun, actually, being
fun.
there to bid with someone else's money, too.
I'm all about that one. Another memorable moment was, of course, when you got to ring the bell.
Yes.
That you were cancer-free. Of course, I bawled my eyes out.
That was a special, special moment for you, for our families, our friends,
exactly.
all of you that have ridden along with us through that journey. Thank you. We've appreciated all the prayers, the thoughts.
And everybody, across cow country, from our radio stations to people that are listening to our partners, to everybody reached out on us. So, tremendous moment that we had in 2022, putting that behind us. And then we moved into, I think on everybody's calendar was the war in Ukraine that's still going on, and how that affected markets. That changed everything up. And then for us, it was going into one of the worst droughts that we've ever seen, ever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nobody ever likes to say one for the history books, and yet this
but that
was a
one
year.
For the history books.
That was.
I remember visiting with Kirk, and we're sorry, Kirk, for throwing you under the bus again on this one, but I remember visiting with Kirk and him saying, I only have 3 weeks of hay left. And then the next week when we talk, Tigger, I only have 2 weeks of hay left. And then, look, I've only got 1 week. That's all I have. And then just like that, the heavens opened up and rain started and rain started and rain started. And then we moved into one of the worst blizzards that we ever had.
Oh, and temperatures that have attacked, or I shouldn't say attacked, but have crossed the entire nation has dropped areas in the country that haven't seen those temps at this time of year.
Right. So
records.
So would you say that if you figure the spring blizzards that at least that we had, and the weather anomalies that I'm going to say just about every one of you that is listening had, and then also the weather-related anomalies towards the end of this year, the fall, and moving into winter, would you say those are some of the most memorable moments of 2022? We hate to say the weather, but unfortunately it is. Would you say that?
Absolutely. I would say not just for us, but think about the next generation that's coming up. The wee ones, those that are in the high school, those that are in grade school, elementary, have all dug in and helped us through 2022. This is going to be the year they remember.
Stick around, crew, as we wrap up 2022. The Ranch It Up radio show returns right after this.
Vitelli is a precision livestock company that is set out to solve what we call the triple challenge. And the triple challenge is really the combination of the need for more protein, coupled with doing it in a more sustainable production practice. And then lastly, doing it in a way that producers can make money. And that is the ultimate challenge that Vitelli is set out to solve for. We know that genetic progress is a permanent and compounding solution to that triple challenge.
Gelbvieh genetics deliver maternal superiority in planned crossbreeding systems. Highly productive cows with adaptability, versatility, and stayability can have a positive impact on your bottom line. Gelbvieh Imbalancer. Smart, reliable, profitable. The continental breed of choice. how to get healthier calves and more dollars in your pocket using Pharmatan.
Coccidia control, and then excellent with that transition to solid feed and seeing their weights really hold up as they put cattle through their weaning ration.
ImageneIngredients.com. It's not every day that you find something so natural that works. Green Acres Angus genetics are just that. Medium frame cattle that perform on a 100% grass-fed and finished diet. Head to green-acres.org.
Hey, it's Mark Banzi with LivestockMarket.com, EquineMarket.com, and AuctionTime.com. Give us a call, 844-775-4762, or look us up online at LivestockMarket.com. Thanks, guys.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Ranch It Up Radio Show. Many of you have requested sale reports, production sale reports in particular. You want to know kind of how some of the seed stock, how some of the breeding cattle, how some of the bred heifers, how some of the open heifers have been selling, closing out 2022. Well, let me just kind of start my summary that I've got for y'all by saying awfully darn good. So I tried to pick out a few of the bigger sales that in a few of the different breeds that a number of you are familiar with and you have heard of. So I'm going to start in Montana, and I'm going to talk about the Sitz Angus, their maternal prefix sale, their 57th annual fall bull and female sale, by the way. Nothing short of spectacular. 460 coming 2-year-old bulls. They averaged 72.36. Just a tick under 300 commercial bred heifers. These are commercial breds now. They averaged just a tick under 3,600, and then right around 160 commercial bred cows. They averaged $2,900. I mean, this was kind of a wing-dinger of the sale. Kind of their top highlights, their top bulls. Oh, let's see, 45,000, 42,500, 38,000, 35,000. There was a number of bred heifers that sold $4,500 on up. There were a number of bred cows that sold for $3,600 on up. So an awfully darn good sale for Sitz Angus in Montana. Now, the KG Ranch, they had their annual production sale early on in December in Three Forks, Montana, to be precise. 211 2-year-old Angus bulls averaged 62.29. Nothing wrong with that. 161 bred commercial Angus females, 23.50. Nothing wrong with those averages either. Stevenson Angus, staying in Montana, Hobson, Montana particularly, had their sale just after Thanksgiving. 128 coming 2-year-old bulls, 54.29 was the average. 142 bull calves. Now, those were the calves just born in the spring, averaging 45.55. 97 bred females, averaging 26.70. 32 bred heifers, averaging $3,500 even. And then 158 bred commercial heifers, averaging just a tick under $2,100. That is Stevenson Angus in Hobson, Montana. Some other sales to tell you about by request on the Shorthorn side and the Durham Red side, the Durham Nation sale that took place in Catherine, North Dakota. Towards the early part of November, here's what their averages were, and these were fantastic as well. 42 open heifers, averaging 52.06. 55 bred heifers, averaging 38.25. 8 open heifer calves, averaging 31.19. 45 bred heifers, averaging 31.34. Those were the plus heifers. 33 bulls, averaging 39.79. 2 pregnancies, averaging 43.75. They had a number of semen packages that were available as well. So they had a number of their show heifers that were selling across the country, their top-selling heifers. A few of the top staying in North Dakota, 13.5 staying in Larimore, 10,000 staying in Minto, but then the second high-selling female for $12,000 heading down to Lake, Kansas. Now heading to South Dakota and Bieber Red Angus, their Bieber Fever fall female and bull sale. 4 Red Angus donor cows averaged over $25,000. 28 Red Angus bred females averaging over $6,000. 47 Red Angus Advantage bulls averaging 61.60. 50 Red Angus February, March, and April calving cows. All right. 50 Red Angus February, March, and April calving cows averaged 42.46. And then they had another pile of May and June calving cows, some of their Red Angus cows, 34 of them to be precise. They averaged just $1 under $4,200. Then they had a big swath of commercial bred heifers, 120 of those, bringing $2,410. So what does this mean? There's a lot of optimism going into 2023, where many individuals that we're getting our bulls from, a lot of us commercial people that we're getting our seed stock from, they are reinvesting back in their herds with a tremendous amount of optimism for the future. So it's telling me that there is a tremendous amount of commitment that is going into the genetics that are being offered, not just this year, but those bulls that are being purchased now and that we're going to talk about here in the next couple months. Those are the genetics that we're going to see in a couple years if they finally worked or not. Here's some other sales to tell you all about. Heading now to Ashland, Kansas for the profit-proven 20th annual Gartner-influenced commercial Angus female sale. Here's what we have. Obviously, I'm going to say this with a wing dinger again. 75 cow-calf pairs averaged $27.41. 79 bred cows, they were natural service. They averaged 24.5. 31 bred heifers, AI females, averaged 2,400. 204 bred heifers, natural service, just a tick over $2,000. 221 open yearling heifers, averaged $1,654. And then 80 open heifer calves, averaged $1,434. And here's where a lot of people are weighing prices back and forth. Should we have a sale in the fall? Should we have a production sale in the early winter, in early 2023 or late spring? All depends upon the feed situation. Now, that's a big deal right there. Can we grow cattle on grass and maintain the performance? Hopefully, yes. Results in having a fall sale. Can we move that calving date back? A lot of us that are fighting a winter, fighting tornadoes, are looking at that and saying, yeah, that certainly may be an option. Now, looking on the Gelvy side of things, going to the Judd Ranch, they had their sale back earlier in the fall, but it was their 32nd annual Cow Power Gelvy and Red Angus female sale. I wanted to wait all the way to the end of the year to really report on a lot of these seed stock sales and these female sales, like the Judd Ranch. Great people. I've known them for many, many years. Their 32nd annual sale in Pomona, Kansas. 17 fall-bred females and pairs averaging over $4,800. 75 fall open heifers averaging $3,105. 38 spring-bred heifers averaging just a tick under $4,000. We'll just call them $4,000. And then 23 spring pairs averaging $5,478. Again, it doesn't really matter what breed we're looking at, is that there is a lot of reinvestment going on and a lot of commitment to the future, and that obviously, and hopefully, I should say, is going to benefit you and I going forward. On the Hereford side of things, heading to South Dakota, the Frederickson Ranch Pyramid Beef annual production sale, 59 bulls averaging $58.09, 15 females averaging $41.17. Staying in the Hereford pen, but going all the way north across the border to Lethbridge, Alberta specifically, 35 bulls at the Hirsch Herefords and Friends annual production sale, averaging $62.69. 34 females averaging $53.90. Now, wrapping up with some Simmental sales. Again, I'm just kind of picking some sales out here at random. Triangle J's Ranch in Miller, Nebraska. 47 bred Sim genetic cows coming in, averaging $29.21. 220 open Sim genetic heifers. Open heifers, 220 of them, 2 pot loads minimum, averaging $34.08. A couple donor cows coming in, some semi-donor cows averaging over $15,000. So an awfully darn good sale in Miller, South Dakota. And then wrapping up with the R.A. Brown Ranch's 48th annual production sale that took place in Throckmorton, Texas. The Semi and the Sim Angus bulls, there was 64 of them. They averaged over $9,200. The Angus bulls, 141 Angus bulls, they averaged $72.06. A couple Hotlander bulls, they averaged over $8,000. 186 Red Angus bulls at R.A. Brown's Ranch in Throckmorton, they averaged $85.12. So what does this tell me? All across the board, it really doesn't matter what breed that we're talking about, is that those people that are bringing us the genetics, and those people are the ones that can change our industry the quickest and the fastest when we need to move in one direction or the other. It's telling me that going into 2023, again, as I mentioned, an enormous amount of confidence in your program and mine. That's why the reinvesting is on all levels, on the bull side, on the female side, and even especially on those partner sales, on the commercial bred heifers that are influenced by said genetics. So report those sales into me. If you have a sale report, please put me on the list. Fire them our direction, because I've heard it more times than not. People are loving when we are reporting these different sales from across the country. And it's nice to hear what cattle are selling for in one part of the country. Maybe we've got pap-tested bulls that are selling for this in another part of the country. So fire them our direction. ranchitupshow@gmail.com. Call and text me 24/7 crew. If you got questions, concerns, criticisms, comments, it doesn't matter. Give us a call. Send us a text at 707-726-2420. Got it? We're going to wrap up the markets one more time, if we will. So Kirk is on standby. Stick around. We've got a lot more of the Ranch It Up radio shows coming up right after this. Neogen, the partner you need.
Some of our best products and improvements come from producers. And if they've got an idea on maybe how we can help, we'd like to hear what they have to say. Contact us directly. Go to neogen.com. We're more than happy to help.
Neogen, the partner you now have. Are you scrambling to find the perfect Christmas present this year? How about wild rags? Because you can never have too many wild rags, not just any wild rags. I'm talking Ranch Life wild rags. These are hashtag Tigger approved. We've seen them in person. They are by far the best of the best, and you have never seen anything like them before. RanchLifeWildRags.com. Good luck trying to find your favorite, because we've picked out about 10 of them. RanchLifeWildRags.com.
Cattle market reports to various news stories. The Tri-State Livestock News covers it all. Check us out at tsln.com. Subscriptions or advertising, call Tracy Hawk at 406-951-3211. The Tri-State Livestock News, what ranchers read.
You've done everything that you need to do at this point. Vaccinations, management, genetics, environmental control. But let's talk nutrition. Now, it doesn't have to be difficult or overwhelming or complicated at all, so let's keep things real simple. Westway Feed Products. For the cow-calf operation, dairy, feedlots, equine, custom even if you need. Nutrition is a lot more than having grass or hay, so keep it simple. You can count on Westway Feed Products. westwayfeed.com. Welcome back, everyone, and thanks for hanging out with us here on the Ranch It Up radio show. It's that time when we check in with Kirk Donsbach, StoneX Financial Incorporated. Kirk, before we get into the numbers, before we get into the stuff that we have to, let me just wish a very, is it Merry Christmas? Is it Happy Holidays? All the above. Happy Holidays, Happy New Year to you and yours. So, what's the numbers look like?
I also want to wish all your listeners a happy holiday, Tigger, and to be safe on the vicious weather.
Right.
As of Friday, December 23rd, January feeders closed at 184. That's down 10 cents week over week, with the CME feeder index at 176.75. The index was actually $2.76 lower on the week, leaving the basis a negative $7.25. And I will point out again to your listeners that basis is getting quite wide. We did have a cattle on feed report last Friday, December 23rd. It came in at the on feed of 97.4% versus expectations of 97.1%, so a little higher than expected. The place was 97.9% versus expectations of 95.4%, so about 2% more place than was expected. That's a slightly bearish number. And the market had came in at 101.2% versus expectations of 100.9%, so basically right on the marketed number. February live closed at 157.775, up $2 on the week, with cash trading 156 in the south, which would be about $1 higher, and 156 to 158 in the north, which would be $1 lower on the high side. That leaves the 5-area weighted average on steers up 34 cents at 155.90, and the basis a positive 50 cents, so very normalized basis. Weekly slaughter came in at 562,000 head, a very concerning number, being 63,000 head lower than the week prior. And kind of an interesting twist, this is not a holiday shortened week. That will be the following week. And it would be compared to last year, which was a holiday shortened week. Anyway, a little confusing there, but a very disappointing 562,000 head slaughtered. Choice boxes had the bright spot closing Friday at $271.95. That's up $9.12 on the week. Highest daily price for that week in December in history. To wrap this up, Mark's corn closed at $6.66. That's up 12.5 cents on the week. It has terminated its downtrend and is creating the next trend, undefined at the moment, as it pushes up towards the resistance level around $6.75.
So before we say fairly well, do you have any New Year's resolutions that you're going to be putting into place?
As I've gotten older, I've kind of just given up on those because they usually don't make it a week out and they're gone, so I just kind of quit.
Right, exactly. So at least you're truthful and honest and you know exactly where you are.
Yeah, I can't even fool myself anymore on that one.
Hey all, Mark Van Zee with LivestockMarket.com. Coming up this Wednesday, January 4th, we have an all-class cattle online auction. Bidding opens at just $100 a head. No reserves. All lots will sell. 134 head selling across 12 lots. Bred heifers, cows, bulls, and stockers. Featured lots include 45 fancy Red Angus bred heifers, bred to Red Angus Beestrom Balancer heifer bulls, ultrasound tested in 10-day calving windows. They'll start calving March 1st for 10 days. All shots given, tamed, cake broke from Ebel Cattle in Harrod, South Dakota. 24 all Black Angus bred heifers selling in 2 lots of 12 from a Reputation Heifer Development Program in the Nebraska Sandhills. They're AI bred to Hickok, due to calve February 7th. No black whiteface, all blacks from O'Hare Ranch in Ainsworth, Nebraska. 44 Red Angus bred cows, all straight, solid mouth, 7 and 8-year-olds, 1,400 pounds. They're bred red. They'll calve March 25th for 50 days. All home raised, excellent dispositions, and super tame from Ebel Cattle in Harrod, South Dakota. 3 purebred, registered, Santa Gertrudis bulls, all red dot grandsons. They're semen and trick tested, all super docile from Gergo Farms in Belen, New Mexico. 1 registered Sim Angus bull. He's coming 2 years old, out of Peyton, semen checked, genomic tested, breed leading EPDs in the top 3% from Martin Enterprises in Lime Springs, Iowa. Plus 290 large round bales of hay and corn stalks, all of it in semi-truck load lots. Bidding on hay opens at just $10 a bale. Bidding on the cattle opens at just $100 a head. Bidding is currently live, but all these lots will sell the morning of Wednesday, January 4th on LivestockMarket.com and AuctionTime.com.
I tip my hat to you, from one legend to another.
So I think it's pretty obvious our tip of the hat and our shout out is going to go to all of, first and foremost, all of you out there, all of our listeners, subscribers, downloaders,
everyone that's let us follow along with you and you follow along with us. We greatly appreciate each and every one of you.
Some people listen on the digital side. Some people are listening to the podcast as we speak. Some people are listening on public radio as we speak, on satellite radio. YouTube has become a big one for us that people are finding us. We appreciate each and every one of you. Second, I want to give a shout out and a thank you to, and we do it every single week multiple times, but I don't think we can say it enough, to all of our partners that we have.
Yes, our sponsors.
And
thank you.
We have some exciting things coming up for 2023 with our partners, so we want to say thank you so much, and make sure that you go to their Facebook pages, their web pages, check them out. They are, our partners for a very good reason, because of what they bring to the industry. And then lastly, I'd like to say a thank you to all of those radio stations for airing our show each and every week, week in and week out. And you and I have been through hell and back again the last couple of years, and we have destroyed and defeated all of those evils that have been in our life. We're back to health.
But you know what? That just shows what an amazing industry we are in. We are in an industry that remembers the sayings. They remember the heartfelt meaning behind a handshake when you do have a deal. They remember those people when they fall on hard times, they have each other's back. And this last year,
amazing.
especially, as you've all stayed with us and ridden along with us, whether I was battling cancer or bucked off, another bronc or something dumb has happened to me, we'll just be honest. You've all stayed besides Tigger, and Tigger has led led the way and done one heck of a job leading all of us down the right path and making us all better people in this agricultural industry.
Thank you so much for saying that. And can I throw you under the bus one last time?
Sure.
Why wouldn't I? And so you're coming out and saying the reason that you weren't with us for most of the month of December and part of November or all of it or whatever, just tell everybody you got bucked off.
I got bucked
Just
off,
admit it.
and I don't have a great story to go with it.
It happens to the best of us, right?
It does. But you know what? We always get back on.
And that's going to wrap it up for today, and we can officially put 2022 to bed on this one. A big thank you to Kirk for coming in one last time this year with StoneX Financial Incorporated, and for Mark Vanzi with LivestockMarket.com for the weekly updates. Appreciate you so much.
A big thank you to our partners and sponsors, Green Acres, Vitali, Pharmatan and Imogene Ingredients, the American Galvay Association, the Tri-State Livestock News, the Farmer and Rancher Exchange, and the Fence Post, Abrahamson Rodeo Company, Westway Feed Products, Neogen, Allied Genetic Resources, LivestockMarket.com, EquineMarket.com, AuctionTime.com, RFD TV, the Cowboy Channel, and Wrangler.
And crew, so glad y'all came with us one more time as we ranch it up. Be sure to follow us along, especially going forward in 2023, at Ranch It Up Show on Facebook, social media all over the place. Our email, ranchitupshow@gmail.com. Call and text us 24/7 at 707-726-2420. Join us again next year. I always like saying that. Join us again next year. It's official, where it's always Tigger approved.
Stay ranchy and ranch it up.